Welcome back, everyone. Today we'll be going over HBSS and Lab 1, Initial EPO Server Configuration. Our tasks are to configure the server settings required before running the rename script, run the rename script, and create a server security key. Alright, so let's jump in. Now the first thing we're going to do is configure the basic settings on our server, which are our system time and date, which need to match our domain controller. We will also configure the IP address for our server, subnet mask, and the gateway as well. And the last thing we'll configure is the DNS suffix of our domain. This EPO server will not be joined to the domain, so we will just configure the DNS suffix. After that, we will restart our machine and take a pre-named snapshot. Alright, so now that I've configured the basic settings on my server, the next thing we're going to do is to take a pre-named snapshot. So let me just log into my server real quick, make sure everything is running smooth. Now I'm going to create this snapshot from my VCSA web GUI. So let's go ahead and transfer over to that interface real quick. Let's head over to my VCSA. I'm going to navigate over to where I have my virtual machine located. Okay, now let's right click on our virtual machine, and towards the top we will select snapshots and take snapshot. I'm going to name this snapshot, whatever you want to name it. I'm going to name it pre-rename EPO. And in the description, I'm going to add a date and a timestamp. Once you have that, click on create, and in your recent task you should see this this task in there. Okay, so I can see that it's running. Alright, so now let's move on to the next step. Let's head back into my server. And the rename script should be located right there on your desktop. But if it's not, you can easily go to your file explorer. Alright, so let's open up my file explorer. Then head over to your D drive, miscellaneous, rename, and in here you will see this rename script shortcut. So let's go ahead and right click on this rename script shortcut and then run as admin. Click on yes on this prompt. Then the rename process will begin. You'll see this command line pop up and you'll get this box right here where it says, do you wish to continue? Go ahead and click on OK. Your system will then reboot, and then we will log back in and then click on OK to continue the process. Once this rename script is done, your EPO server will restart once again, and then you should be ready to log into your EPO server. Alright, so now my server has finished its rename process. So next thing we're going to do is test the connection to my SQL database. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the Windows and then open up Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio. Okay, and now once the application opens up, you'll get prompted to input your credentials, and you have a few options as to the server type that you want to log into or connect to, the server name, and the authentication method that you want to use. Now we're going to use, the first one we're going to check is the Windows authentication. So I'm not going to change anything. I'm just going to click on connect. Okay, and we were able to successfully connect using our Windows authentication method. So now let's go ahead and redo this, but this time we will use the SQL authentication. So let's head towards the top. Under File, click on Connect. We will leave the first two boxes as they are, and we will change the authentication method from Windows authentication to SQL authentication, SQL Server authentication. And we will input our credentials and then click on Connect, and we should be able to successfully connect using our SQL credentials. Now our last step is to create the agent server secure communication key. So let's open up our Internet Explorer and try to log in or connect to our EPO using our host name. Okay, so now that we've successfully logged into EPOS, let's click on the menu on the top left, which is these three lines over here in the corner. All right, now in this middle portion, we will scroll down until we get to the configuration tab or section and select server settings. And here we will look for security keys. And then we will click on edit on the bottom right. All right, so in the top box where it says agent server secure communication keys, we'll select new key. And we will name this key xxmu EPO. Now the master key is the key that all systems will communicate to the EPO server with once the McAfee client frame package is installed. So your agents will not communicate back with your EPO server if this step is not performed. Now, once this is done, you will need to once again restart your EPO server. All right, so now we've completed it. So now we'll do a simple restart so all these changes could take effect on our system.